Mark Zuckerberg is still betting on the metaverse. Volvo brings Gemini AI into its vehicles, and hackers distribute a malicious version of a popular password manager. Welcome to Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. After a huge push and billions spent, most of those who were hyping the metaverse went off to lick their wounds. Even the mighty Apple, with its roots in great graphical user experience, came late to the game with big expectations, but now has to admit that its VR helmet was a bust, and many are just gathering dust. The metaverse seemed to be a bit of a yawn for many, and was rapidly superseded by generative AI. And once again, Mark Zuckerberg was all in, this time scoring a coup with his Llama open-source AI that not only serves his social media platform, but is a basis for a huge number of AI projects. This year, Zuckerberg is allocating $60 to $65 billion in capital expenditures to continue to position Meta at the forefront of AI innovation. But despite widespread retreat from virtual reality by other tech giants, it turns out that Meta is still doubling down. With over $60 billion spent and modest traction in hardware and software, Mark Zuckerberg's vision of a billion-person metaverse is still alive. Meta continues to push forward where others have scaled back or just left the game entirely. The company's metaverse strategy is anchored by its Reality Labs division, which has lost more than $60 billion since 2020. Yet Zuckerberg still apparently remains committed, calling 2025 a critical year to prove the concept's viability. Consumer hardware remains central. Now, Meta sold an estimated 605,000 Quest 3 and 3S headsets in Q1 of 2025. Its Ray-Ban AR glasses have sold 2 million units to date, with production ramping up towards 20 million by 2026. But with the daily VR users still far from the early targeted billion user mark, the numbers fall short of Meta's long-term adoption goals. But the interest is there. Games like Fortnite and Roblox, immersively VR-type worlds, continue to draw millions of daily users, with Fortnite hitting 14.3 million daily active users just 5 months ago. Meta's own Horizon Worlds platform has seen fluctuating engagement, with VR-exclusive successes like Gorilla Tag, which reached 1 million daily active users, promising but still rare. But Meta's still betting that its massive user base, spanning Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, gives it a unique springboard for metaverse growth. And commerce is also slowly taking shape. Platforms like Roblox now let users purchase physical goods inside virtual environments, hinting at future monetization models. Reality Labs remains minor relative to Meta's. Now, only in a company like Meta could $2 billion seem trivial, but Meta's 2024 revenue is $164 billion company-wide. Worse, the division regularly loses double what it earns in revenue. Still, AI and custom hardware development remains central to the long game, with Meta building foundational tech for immersive experiences, personalization, and device integration. Meta's progress underscores both the promise and the cost of chasing a metaverse at scale. While headset sales and AR wearables show momentum, wide consumer adoption remains the significant hurdle. The long-term payoff, if it comes, will depend on whether Meta can convert billions in spending into real-world use, utility, and value. But if it does that turnaround, especially if we get a metaverse developed and run with AI, Meta is going to have one hell of a lead. Volvo is set to become the first automaker to integrate Google's Gemini AI into its vehicles, enhancing the Android automotive OS experience. This collaboration aims to provide drivers with more natural voice interactions, including language translation, navigation assistance, and even user manual queries, thereby reducing cognitive load and improving driving focus. Of course, we're all excited about how this is going to handle the in-car entertainment system and all that sort of stuff, but has anybody actually ever read their manual? You probably haven't. But who hasn't thought of a question that would be really useful to know when they're driving? Like, what does that light mean? Or, oh man, I forget how to do this. You know what I mean? So between the manual, the entertainment system, and maybe decent directions, if it all works, this is going to be a powerful addition to your car systems. So the integration of Gemini AI will replace the current Google Assistant in Volvo's infotainment systems later this year. The move positions Volvo as Google's lead development partner for Android Automotive, granting them early access to updates and features. By embedding Gemini AI, Volvo is aiming to offer a more intuitive and seamless driving experience and allowing for conversational interactions that can assist with all kinds of in-car functions without diverting your attention from the road. But by getting in early, Volvo's vehicles will get new features and updates from Google before they're added to the main Android codebase. And here's everybody's nightmare. All of your passwords supposedly in that safe password manager are revealed. Well, it's happening. Hackers are distributing a malicious version of a popular password manager called KeyPass, and they're embedding it with malware that steals data and deploys ransomware. The corrupted software is being spread through typo-squatted websites that closely mimic the legitimate KeyPass site. Once installed, the fake KeyPass exports saved passwords in clear text and transmits them to attackers via a Cobalt Strike beacon. The attackers then use these credentials to infiltrate networks, deploy ransomware, and more. Security researchers from WithSecure have identified this campaign, which appears to be orchestrated by an initial access broker group linked to the Black Basta ransomware gang. The malicious KeyPass variant maintains all functionalities of the legitimate tool, but includes additional malicious components. The typo-squatted website hosting this version still remains active, posing ongoing risks to unsuspecting users. This incident underscores the importance of downloading software only from official sources and being vigilant against lookalike websites. No one should download software via a link sent to them or even on a web page. You should always access the legitimate site and, if necessary, work your way from there to the software you need. It's just too easy to have lookalike pages and even disguise the URL effectively so that even a trained eye would have trouble spotting it. And that goes double for highly secure apps, like, for instance, a password manager. And that's our show. Catch us this weekend with Project Synapse as we talk about the resurgence of Google, the new announcements with OpenAI, and maybe more. You never know where that show's going to go. You can get it Saturday morning or whenever you listen to long content podcasts. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a fabulous Friday.